Lads, welcome back to Fusion YGO. Today we're going to be doing the full ban list prediction. I did a mini one ending of last year, and I wanted to give you the full streamline. This isn't like talking points on things that I think should get hit. And my full ban list prediction on what I actually think is going to get banned, and some of it I will admit is a wish list, and I will tell you when those wish lists come up. But here are my predictions, and let's jump right into it. So first and foremost, the first banned card is going to be Sky Striker Mecha Hornet Drones. This card is the reason that Striker Orcust is viable. It is. In Striker Orcust, the cards that give the deck all of its pushing power is definitely the Sky Striker cards. They're not once per turn. They're very strong. They're very recurable because Hornet Drones makes Kagari, and with Kagari and Engage into Hornet Drones just makes it a very splashable engine, makes it recurable in resources, and that needs to stop. So the Striker engine makes it the strongest tier 1 deck. Now people have to go back to pure Orcust, which is strong, but it's a lot easier to hinder the plays of just Orcust than it is for Striker and Orcust. That's a lot of tier 1 strategy going into one deck, and it makes it very difficult for decks to compete, making Striker Orcust the best deck of the format. Moving on. Outer Entity as a thought. This card just, it needs to go. It promotes, what's the word? Uninteractive play. It makes it so you can't interact with your opponent or hinders the interaction with your opponent. It's incredibly one-sided, and it's just not a fair card, and I think it's been needed to get hit for a while. Mystic Mine. I think every card that's similar to this in strength has been banned in the past. It makes tier 1 decks like Sky Striker better because they're able to play through a whole lot of other shenanigans, and they end on one monster, so it's really easy for them to just be like, oh, go second Sky Striker with Mystic Mine. Like, it's a very unfair card in design and in concept, and it would allow other cards to be able to come back to the game, such as Terraforming to 2 or Metaverse to 2, which would be a bolster for a lot of rogue strategies in the format. I think that would be a good thing. Without Mystic Mine, you could let those other cards come back, and it wouldn't be... It would balance out a lot of other decks to make them better. Alright, so here's my first of the wish list. Tempest Magician, Cannon Soldier, both of them, Amazonas Archer, anything that isn't a hard once per turn burn effect. It promotes FTKs, get rid of the problems, and the solution is, you know, that you can't burn your opponent if those don't exist. So get rid of those burn cards. This is part of wish list. This is the one wish list picked, is the FTK cards. I don't think anything else is going to get hit right now. I could see Glow Up Bulb getting banned, potentially. I could see Steam the Cloak getting banned, potentially. But that's in lieu of Needle Fiber, which doesn't come out, or Halakaflubba doesn't come out till March. So it's not overly concerning, in my opinion, at the moment. I think they're going to let us have a full couple of weeks with it before they just slaughter everything in April. So I don't think that those things are going to get hit right now. I think April is when we'll see those get the ban hammer. Next up is Limited. First up on my list is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Of all of the top 4 decks, all the top 4 decks are going to get hit. In my estimation. If you're going to hit one of them, you have to hit all of them. Thunder Dragon Colossus is the most balanced pick because it directly hits pure Thunder Dragon. It indirectly affects... what's it called? Kind of. It hits the Chaos Dragon version, the Guard Dragon version. But it also is preparing it because Thunder Dragon, under the new Master Rule revision, is going to be the best deck at that time. You're just able to spam out a whole bunch of stuff. They've got to hit this before the ban list in April, otherwise that deck is going to be absolutely stupid. Next is Mathematician. It's a dump and a draw one if it dies in battle. It's just an Orcust, it's just an Orcust starter card, and I think this is an indirect hit to Orcust that needs to happen. Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Ripping cards out of the hand is good. Being able to special summon from the graveyard is pretty good. All of its effects are good. And it being at 3 is just a little much, and it's a direct hit to Chaos Thunder. Ugh, excuse me. Ugh. But I think this card's going to get hit. I also think the Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, is going to get hit. With Synchro decks getting the boost in April, this is a card that does need to preemptively be struck to 1 again. Being able to rip 3 cards out of your opponent's hand in 1 turn, if you can consistently pull it off, is wild. And if you're able to recycle it with desynchro and stuff like that, you can make it so your opponent can't play. That's silly. That is just not right. That needs to not exist in the game, and the best way for it to not exist in the game is to eliminate it, get it down to 1. 1 is fine, because then you really have to try to get a full combo with Trish. Okay, so the next couple are wishlist picks. I don't know if these will actually happen, but I think they could. To bolster the power of other decks, because you can't just ban things and expect them to balance out the format. You got to bring some stuff back. So here are the picks that I think are going to get pulled back. Astrograph Sorcerer to 1. I think at 1 it's fine. I think at 3 it's a little unhealthy. Not a little, it is a lot unhealthy. Astrograph Sorcerer to 1 could be really, really cool. It would make Pendulums a lot better. It would make Pendulum Magicians a little better. And it's helpful in the format. I think it's a fine thing to come back. True King Lithosogem. I don't know if this will come back, but a bolster to True King Dino could be really nice. And it would directly work with the Generator archetype. The Generator? Whatever. The new archetype that came out in Mystic Fighters. It would really bolster that because it's a level 9, it's an Earth, you could mix in the Generator or True King Dino, like blend them together. I don't know if that would actually work, just by the way, never something I tested, just something that came into my head. Being able to rip 3 cards out of your opponent's extra deck and make a True King of all Calamities would be absolutely wild. Gives you free information into what you're playing against, and it's just, it would really bolster it and make it really a little bit more powerful. Double Iris Magician. Look, the Pendulum Graph cards suck now. For lack of a better word, they're just not good anymore. So, bringing it back to 1 or even 3, Double Iris Magician is good, but it's not the best card in the deck or even in the archetype. So, bringing it back, maybe it would help, maybe it would do nothing, who knows. I think bringing it to 1 is a good test. Zodiac Dryden. Okay. Look, Zodiac is a horrible archetype. I dislike everything about it. It's very, very splashable. There's nothing you can really ban to stop it from being splashable. And if you're going to bring anything off the ban list, Dryden is the right one, just because it's a targeted destruction, and there's so many better cards. It's not like Broad Bull, which is not a hard once per turn searcher, or like any of the other ones. I think if we bring back Dryden, I think it'll be fine. Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. I personally feel like we can bring all of them back with 95 banned and Agripane banned. I don't think they're going to be that degenerate anymore. But with hesitancy, I think we should bring back 1 at a time and just slowly bring them in. I think the only deck that could really abuse them is going to be Dragon Maid. And then actually bringing the Dragon Rulers back for Dragon Maid may actually help it see competitive success. If you want it to succeed, you got to give it something. Bringing back the Dragon Rulers may bolster it up to going from a deck to a, okay, this deck can compete now. Heavy Feather Duster, Harpy's Feather Duster, jeez. So with all the top decks getting hindered and so many decks getting bolsters on my list, Harpy's Feather Duster just is a natural, like, slow down control decks, and it directly works against 2 of the top decks being Salamangreat and Orcust, and it would also work as a hindrance to Pendulum directly affects Pendulum. So this is a way to just keep balance in the game, and I think 1 is fine. Last, but certainly not least, Wind-Up Carrier Zen Mighty. Oof. Oof. Okay, so I think Wind-Up Carrier Zen Mighty coming back to 1 would be fine. I think if you brought it back to more than 1 would be a little much. But what's Wind-Up going to do? This would give you another deck you could play in the revision. And it's not a horrible deck, but it's still not going to see much play, I don't think. It's very susceptible to hand traps. So, bring it back to 1, see what it does. Semi-limited. Okay, I have things in the semi-limited section, but I have them here for reasons. And I know I can hear people screaming you didn't do enough to Orchest. Mathematician, Hornet Drones, instantly brings it so that, before we talk about semi-limited, that Orchest has now been indirectly hit twice, and we're directly hitting it twice still. I think the OCG got it perfectly correct, semi-limiting Galatea and Harp Horror. Here's why. You hit the grind game, you hit the consistency, and you force them to play 3 Nightmare, because not all lists are playing 3, some are, but you're forcing them to play 3 of that, and they have to play 3 Symbol Skeleton, and now they're going to have to play things like Bombard or other things to be able to do it, and they can't splash in the Striker engine, so to use it to its full power. So this is the right thing to do, I think. You're directly hitting Recursion, you're not killing the deck, because if you take out Babel, it becomes a have-to-go-second deck. That is incredibly weak to a multitude of hand traps that are easy to get into, and they can't run a lot of hand traps because they have to see their stuff. So I think if you hit Babel, you're basically murdering the deck to a tier 2-ish deck, if you're best, creating the power vacuum that we don't want to see. Next up is Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf. I think this going to 2 is just a little, hey, like, you can't sit at the top alone. Stop it. You know, Salamangreat would be the best deck of the format if we'd ever touched it. So we have to give it a little, hey, none of that. Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. It's a direct hit to Sky Striker without crippling the deck. Now it's much easier to deal with 3 Engage than it is to deal with 4. And it makes it a little bit more inconsistent. So you're more often than not going to go Shizuku, okay, pass, and now I have an Engage. And just pray to God they can't kill you. Spiral Gear Drone to 2. I think this would be a nice bolster to bring Spiral back a little bit. I don't want to go full tier 0. I'm not saying bring back the field spell. But I think Drone to 2 is going to be fine. I think that's the only Spiral boost. We'll see how it does. With Magician's Soul coming out, let's see. What's the worst that happens? Deep Sea Diva. This will help sell the new Deep Sea archetype. We can always use a little bolster because I think that comes out in February, I want to say. Or if not later this month. I don't know when it comes out here, but we should be getting it soon. And I think that this would just be a direct, like, little, hey, here you go. Tour Guide of the Underworld 2. 3 is too many. 1, it's like a Saki card. I think 2 is fine. It makes a couple more decks viable. I hate Burning Abyss, but here you go, a little. And then Canahawk can come to 2. I think going to 3 might be a little much with the revision coming, but I think 2 is fine. Give him something. Who's actually going to play it? Let's just be real here. And then the cards that can go to 3. Okay. Canahawk is by the way, that is completely a wish list, as well as Tour Guide. I think those are wish list picks. Alright, and then here are the free ones. Some of these are wish lists. First up is Upstart Goblin to 3. That is a wish list. I think instead of hitting draw power, I think we give every deck more access to draw power. Release Upstart Goblin. It's going to be fine. Make a reprint of it as a super ultra omega rare or some silliness. People will go crazy. There you go. People will pick up Upstart Goblin again. Make it a secret rare, reprint in a set. That'll be fun. A Hero Lives. Heroes could really use this card. Let's just be real. heroes aren't seeing a whole bunch of competitive success anyway, but giving them a little bit of a pump up, I'm going to bomb you up, would be good. Another wish list picked. Pantheism of the Monarchs. It's Monarchs. Just let it go to 3. Trickstar Light Stage. This died for Orcust Sins. It's a good card. It's splashable. You can use a Trickstar engine again. I think it can come back to 3. And if you feel like 2 is fine, 2 first, but I think it can come back to 3. Tribe Infecting Virus. This is a wishlist picked. It's not going to do anything. It's a terrible card now. This is not GOAT format. Release Infecting Virus. It's been on there way too long. And those are my picks. It's fairly big, but not a lot's dead. Instead of killing everything, like everybody wants to kill Orcust, instead of killing the least amount of time in the meta deck of the top 4, instead of killing them, just bring down their power level, give a couple other decks boosts. I could even see Masterpiece coming back to 1. It won't. I'm not going to lie to you. But I could see it happening, and that would be a good bolster. Or bringing back things. Instead of killing decks, bring stuff back a little bit at a time and hinder the deck's consistency a bit and make the decks fight for the top spot a little bit more. You bring stuff back, you excite the player base. Bring back the Dragon Rulers. Let Dragon Maids have a little bit of fun with a level 7 spam engine. Things like that could really help make this game and make these decks a lot more fun to play. But lads, these are just my thoughts. Let me know what your ban list predictions are in the comment section below. Or check out the Discord. Let me know there. Either way, it's great to see you guys again. Welcome back to 2020. Good fun, and have luck.